And when your garden gets going, the worst thing for me is when pests and diseases and other totally random acts of nature start attacking and damaging your loved ones. I'm talking about your plants. In this week's Garden Guide, I'm breaking down a couple of garden problems and how you can solve them. I have spent a lot of time this summer talking about all of the beautiful things that you can do in your garden, but now I'm going to spend a little time talking about some of the bad things and a couple of options that you can use to save your plants still. This begonia is encountering some issues with yellow leaves. Yes, we do still have some gorgeous white flowers, but the problem here is underground. Look at how root bound this plant is. You can actually cut a third of these roots off, cut the plant back, and it will kind of refresh it if you give it some new soil. There are some plants that don't have soil issues, but instead are having airborne issues because of how humid this summer has been. I have noticed a lot more powdery mildew than usual this year. You can actually fight some of that fungus. That's what I did with this crepe myrtle. It did not resolve the fungus that was already there, but the new growth was fungal free, and that's why it looks beautiful now that it's in bloom. So this literally saved the blooming season, and it also works on basil and tomatoes that are having fungal issues because of the humidity. Are you noticing holes in your plant's leaves like this one? This is usually from caterpillar damage, beetles, but you know what? This is nature after all, so a little bit of this isn't necessarily a bad thing because it's not going to harm your plant. If you do have a lot of issues with it, you want to spray the undersides of the leaves with neem oil or insecticidal soap. No matter what you do to try and remedy any of these problems your plants have, it's not going to usually fix the problems with old growth. You're only going to notice the benefits of that in the new growth. And I asked you to send in your plant questions. This wonderful question comes in from Pat. What is eating my broccoli leaves? A great question and a really common problem this time of the year. And by the way, this time of the year is a great time to start your broccoli, your lettuce, your cauliflower, and cabbage. All of these plants can handle frost and freezes, but what they sometimes can't handle is pest pressure that you get in late summer. Likely what's eating those plants are cabbage worms. That's one possibility. Caterpillars. And really the only solution is to get a really fine kind of mesh to put around your really young new seedlings. And that will usually prevent these pests which specifically seek out those delicious brassicas. That's the botanical name for them. And it'll kind of help relieve some of that pressure. Once they get bigger, they usually don't get bothered by some of those pests, Pat.